Yo, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Pony Montana, and in this video, we are going to talk about everything Madden 23 related. If you guys don't have the beta, I am sorry. I didn't get one either. A friend of mine actually let me use his, and I appreciate that friend for that. So this video, I've been playing the beta nonstop. I pretty much want to get the ins and outs and everything about it before the actual game releases, which will be releasing in 2 months. So I figured I'd make an impressions video on everything that you will see and everything, all the changes, and pretty much an impressions video. This is going to be an impressions video for those of you guys who are curious as to how the game plays and the certain aspects of the game that you guys might need to know about. And there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of different things in the beta, and a lot of the times the beta is going to translate pretty well into what the game actually is going to be. There's not going to be any major changes. Typically, any major changes are going to be made through any patches. So the beta is going to be pretty much what it is now. Like, the game is going to be pretty much the beta with a big tuning update to specific things in the game that are pretty noticeable. Now, for anything that's not changed, the only thing that was really noticeable is the kicking meter. I was hoping that they would make kicking a little bit harder because, you know, harsher conditions, harsher winds, snow, wind, rain, whatever the case may be. I've always felt like kicking should be harder. It shouldn't be as easy as boom, up, down, done, because that always leads to sort of just easy 60-yard field goals. When in my opinion, something like that should be a little bit harder. Like, I feel like the further away that you go, the more shaky the kick meter should be, or something, you know. And then they'll mask it with an ability. But the kicking meter is exactly the same in the beta, and that's something that I feel like should have changed. Now, right now in front of you, we have Madden 22 gameplay. We cannot stream it unless you get permission from EA. EA don't like me, so I don't have permission. I ain't even get no beta codes. Now, for actual changes, as soon as you pop into the game, you'll notice that the scoreboard is different. It's like a big white. That might change, but the scoreboard is completely different. It's a big white scoreboard instead of being the black scoreboard that we have, like the dark gray that we have now. The second really noticeable difference, defense. Defense is defense in this game, in the beta. Now, we've had previous betas where as soon as the game came out, like, we've had previous betas where zones and man coverage were locked down, and it took until the game actually dropped for them to nerf zones completely just out of the water. Like, it was just terrible. They went from being amazing to terrible. Zones right now are in a crazy good place. Like, it's hard to move the ball, even for somebody like myself, who I would be considered, from, you know, other Madden players, a decent player. There's defense. Even myself, I'm sitting there throwing interceptions where I'm sitting there thinking that the guy's open and a flat is jumping down to guard certain routes. So Madden Ultimate Team, once that gets introduced, if you throw against like an acrobat, that man's gonna end up picking that off. So I don't know if acrobat's gonna end up being raised in ability points wise, but at the same time, it's just one of those things that it's gonna be big. Now, movement is completely different. Okay, scratch that. It's not completely different, but it's in a place where current gen Madden 22 and next gen kind of meet somewhere in the middle. That's where movement is. You're a lot more fluid. You can kind of shift left and right a little bit easier. You can take control of your player a little bit easier. The movement feels really good. But again, it is a beta, and a lot of these things can change, but nothing's going to change too drastically, because obviously those would be legacy issues that, you know, that the developers would have to introduce a massive patch into the game to actually fix. One thing that I don't like about movement is AI movement. AI movement, they look like they're running real clunky, like they got some dookie in their butt, and it just looks clunky. Like, the way they're running like they don't want to let it out. they're gonna crap their pants while they're running. It's weird, but your user doesn't move like that, if that makes any sense. It's weird, but as long as the user movement is fluid, I'm okay with that. Now when it comes to movement, there is an issue with interceptions. I feel like the out of reach thing where you lurk somebody. I had the ball hit the back of my user's helmet a couple times, my back. The quarterback threw an interception, and it was just it should have been an interception, but instead it hit the back of my user, and it was just it's like those little bugs that end up being fine tuned for the actual release date. The next major thing, tackle battles. If you guys remember in past Madden, I believe it was like 09 or something like that, where you would be able to get into a battle, and a lot of these features that they end up introducing, they're just revamped features of old features that they put into the game, and that's something that I typically don't like. But what else are they gonna do? They're just trying to find ways to be like innovative and creative, but at the same time, it's like you're introducing old mechanics that you had in the game that previously failed, and you're introducing them as new. Tackle battles used to be in the game where you go up against somebody and then you press A or you press one of the buttons to like kind of break off of the tackle. That's back, and it's okay, but a lot, like, you don't even notice it. Once the game gets released, we will end up getting one of those things where like we'll start paying more attention to it, and you'll start spamming X. Right now it's just X. You're just spamming X to get through that tackle battle, and you will break off a tackle, but a lot of the times you're kind of forgetting that they even exist. So you're just, let's just say this, armbar is going to be very, very popular because a lot of people are just going to spam X, and armbar, X is on PlayStation, A on Xbox, and for those of you guys who don't know, that's how you do a stiff arm. So as soon as you catch a ball or you're running the ball and you're about to get into a tackle, you could just spam X, stiff arm, and potentially break a tackle. I don't like the sound of that because that could lead to other broken meta type stuff. But at the same time, it does introduce something new to next gen. Like, these are all next gen things. They don't have a beta for current gen, and I know people have asked about it, but they just don't have it. Now, another thing that is different is the diving. Diving in Madden 23 in the beta, you don't get the super dives like you do in Madden 22 or previous versions of the game. There's no super dives. So I don't know if this is going to change when they introduce like Ted Hendricks into the game, who's what, 6'7" or something like that. Strong safety, Jimmy. Like, how these tall guys in this game dive? It's not like that. They sort of dive, and it's like they're sort of diving in the same place, if that makes any sense. Because realistically, you're not going to dive 40 feet to shoestring tackle somebody in the NFL. It's just not. It just physics. It's just not a logical thing to do. And it honestly, it makes the game feel a lot better. It feels real. It feels more realistic. But again, it is a beta. There's a lot of things that can change. And going into changes, wheel routes. I know that Madden 22, that this year it has been wheel route central. Pro play. If you're a pro player, you're running wheel routes. I'm not a pro player. I don't really care for wheel routes, but you're running wheels. And in this game, the wheel routes, in Madden 22, wheel routes were goated because of the low ball. Wheel routes are still in the game, but low balls are completely useless. They don't work. You will get an inaccurate throw 90% of the times. I honestly don't think I've completed a low ball pass the entire time that I've been playing. So if you guys are looking to hop on the game and just completely go back to bunch with your double wheels and then you're low balling this and low balling that, you're not going to be able to do it. It's going to be extremely, extremely rough for you. And they're dead. They're gone. There's nothing you could do for low balls right now. There's something you could do, but I'll get into that in a different video because we gotta stretch out the Madden 23 content. This is just my impressions on the game and the changes and pretty much everything that you guys will need to know about the game. Low balls are gone. Low balls and high balls, they're very, very hard to pretty much complete because you get an inaccurate, and a lot of the times these inaccurate throws aren't just inaccurate. You're throwing interceptions to these defenders with these low passes, and it gets a little bit frustrating, but you know, it's just how it is. You know, it's whatever. Now, another change, if you guys are on the PlayStation, I don't know how the Xbox controller works, but if you guys are on the PlayStation, you have when certain things happen, like you go for a tackle, weird little noises come out of your controller. I don't know if it happens in Madden 22, like on regs or on if you're playing the computer, but you like Aaron Rodgers. I was throwing the ball away. I was throwing the ball to somebody, like a quick throw, and all of a sudden it sounded like a quick draw animation kind of happened. It was weird, but he doesn't even have quick draw in the game. He has I think he has Gunslinger, which is sort of quick draw into one ability. So it was like, it kind of sounded like it like a holster type of popping off type thing. It was very strange, but it happens with a lot of different animations that you end up getting in the game. I don't. It's like a quirky little thing that they added. I honestly don't know why, but it doesn't make sense. But it is a change that will be noticeable, especially if you play with your controller with the sound on, because you'll end up hearing it like happen, and it's a strange one, but something EA chose to waste resource. I'm not gonna say waste because some people might like it, but it's something that EA chose to use resources on. And the next thing, animation branching. One thing that I've always kind of argued when it comes to Madden is they need more animations. I think even still they need more animations. They need different running techniques. They need different throw styles. They need different ways to stiff arm. Some people like to stiff arm high. Some people are too tall, so they stiff arm low. And I think that needs to be reflected in a realistic football game, because no one person is the same. No one person is doing a bull rush move every single time the same way on the D line. They need to add more animations, and I still think that is the case in Madden 23. You don't see them enough for every single one to constantly pop up. So when you see the same catching animations, the same possession catch, the same rack animation, the same this, it leads to the game getting stale because you're not seeing anything different over and over again. Like this animation here where the guy just like kind of gets dragged down. That happens all the time. Now the difference between in the beta, there's animation branching, which means everything gets connected together where they're sitting there. If they start a tackle and they lead into another tackle with an animation, and it feels really fluid. It's not a bad thing in this game because they have added a ton new animations, but even still, you're still seeing the same things in the game when no game is the same. No game is the same. No, excuse me, not no game. No one person is the same. So you're never gonna see the same thing twice in an NFL game. Like you'll never see OBJ's one-handed 3-finger catch when he's diving in the back and into the end zone. You're never going to see that specific catch again. And again, it just leads to me wanting more animations and more individualism when it comes to these players, because they are stars. They're gifted super freak athletes. You know what I mean? That's what football players are. They're just super gifted, extremely athletic, and not one person is the same. Now, granted, technique is the same, yes, but in terms of individual players, everybody moves different. So in my opinion, that is something that should be added to the game. Like they have 10 different throw styles when there's 32 starting quarterbacks, but then you got to multiply for backups and everything like that. So you're telling me that there's only 10 different throw styles. 10 is a guess, by the way. I don't know how many throw styles there are, but you mean to tell me that there's not 32 different throw styles? Like everybody doesn't throw. They need more. That's all I'm saying. They need more. They need more for legend players. They need more for, not Dan Marino didn't throw like Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers didn't throw like Joe Namath, and Joe Namath didn't throw like who else had the same animation. They had Slinger 2, which is how Aaron Rodgers throws, where he just zips the ball real quick. No one throws like Aaron Rodgers. he's one of a kind, just like every other starting quarterback that's ever been an all-time great. They all move different. They all react different. They all have different mannerisms. And I think that's something that should be reflected in a game that's supposed to be realistic. Now, I completely got sidetracked with that, but that's just something that I would like to see. And that's going to end up being in like a wants and changes video, like wish list. But that's pretty much like the animation branching is just something that everybody gets connected into a different animation, and it's a really fluid thing, and it's going to be good for Madden because it's going to create those situations where like when you're tackling and another person comes up, now instead of like them just going for the tackle, sometimes they'll come up and try to punch the ball out as if it was an actual game. And that's beautiful. That's an amazing thing. Now, the last thing that I kind of want to talk about, and it's annoyed me because a lot of people are kind of bragging about it and like, oh my God, it's something new, is the passing. They pretty much introduced target passing 2.0. Shout out to Rex. Maybe Rex Dixon. He used to be one of the old developers. He was the old head developer for Madden, and he was the one that introduced target passing, where you would kind of be able to lead the passing as you're throwing. This year you can lead it, but you don't have to sit there and click a whole different button to where your guy is just immobile, and it was executed poorly. And this year it looks like it's a lot better. But again, they're introducing it into the game as a new mechanic when it's not. You're taking an old mechanic and you're just putting a new label on it. It's the same mechanic. It's just a 2.0 version. All right. It's kind of like when you get Beats headphones and then they make a new version that's better. It's the same thing. It does work a lot better. And I think this year, slower animations are going to work a little bit better, because once you throw, that's when the little thing pops up to kind of guide where the ball is being thrown. Like a circle pops up, and you're going to be able to kind of pass lead where you want, pretty much. Like it's a split second thing too, so it is going to create some sort of skill gap towards players. And it's going to be very, very nice to see a little bit of skill gap in Madden, because that's something that we're missing. And right now, I can tell you this right now: if you are lacking in making your reads, this is not going to be the game for you. This is right now, and I'm strictly talking beta. If this is how you're going to make a living, you gonna be broke, because if you struggle to make reads, it's gonna be tough. Because right now during the beta, and I think they're gonna tune it, but sheds are crazy. Blitzing is really, really, really good. There aren't ags. You're not aggressive catching at will. Like there's a lot of pass knockouts right now. Like, and I think that's a new thing that they're putting a little bit of emphasis on. There is pass knockouts, like midair collisions and midair breakups and stuff like that, because I think this is gonna end up being a very good defensive game, but it might end up being a little bit too defensive for some people. And I know EA likes to cater to the casual, so I feel like in the beginning of the year, this is what I feel like it's going to be. During the beginning of the year, I think they're going to make it really defensive for competitive. And then as we drift off to the nearing around December time, I feel like they're going to patch the game to where defense isn't as tight, because man defense is good. Zone defense, amazing. And then you got sheds and you've got good blitzers. It's going to be tough, because it's just going to be tough. Those are my impressions. That is everything that I've gone through when it comes to the beta, and I've played a decent amount. I've played literally almost nonstop for the past couple days. I get home from work, I come here, I sit down in my chair, and I play the beta. And it's one of the better betas. I'm very unbiased, man. I'm not somebody who wants to promote EA in a positive light purposefully. They don't pay me. Okay? EA doesn't pay me. They don't do anything for me. I'm under the impression that they don't like me. I've actually heard that from somebody who works there. So um these are my unbiased thoughts. This is one of the best betas. This is one of the best Madden betas that I have played. Now, with that being said, it is one of the best betas, but it's also kind of lacking in some areas in terms of fun aspect. When I play a video game, I want to have fun. This is teetering along the line of realistic, and it's a great beta. But again, there's got to be some aspect of the game that is fun for people to hold on to it and keep playing. Because if it's not fun, we're all just gonna put it down and end up going to play Fortnite. Just being realistic here, as realistic as Madden 23 could possibly be. It's gonna be a good game. I hope it's gonna be a good game. The beta has given me a little bit of hope. I'm not gonna lie, but we will see what happens when the game actually drops. Hopefully, if you guys were looking for Madden 23 data, if you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below and I'll answer anything that I got for you guys. No, I don't have beta codes. I was thinking about clickbait in this video, but I said, nah, I'm not gonna be that person. I don't have beta codes. I didn't even get one. Again, EA doesn't like me. But I don't have any beta codes, but those are my thoughts. Those are my impressions. That's what's new. That's what's changed. That's what didn't. And yeah, hopefully you guys get your hands on a beta code, because apparently they're introducing Madden Ultimate Team to the beta as well soon. So that's going to be fun. And yeah, like, subscribe. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.